It was a killer. I have a picture of it, but that was such a killer white, and it was French.
Right on the tip, yeah.
And she was like, "This is one of my favorites." But then when she said that about that one, I was like, "Nope, that's not the bottle." It was like green.
So it might
green and gold, silver.
It could have still been this producer though.
Oh, maybe it was. Okay.
It might have.
It was
been.
Shannon.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Up front.
Yeah,
Show them the
see
label.
it.
So tell us a little bit about the wine.
Okay, so first, before we talk about the wine, we have to talk about Evelyn de Pontbriand.
Okay.
Evelyn is the current proprietor and winemaker. She inherited this estate from her mother, who inherited it from her aunt. So already we're in sort of uncharted territory in winemaking in general, but in France in particular, having a lineage of women. I can think of one other winery that maybe has that same sort of lineage off the top of my head. But not only is this a line of women, but also women who have been extremely active in the region. So Savennières is in the Loire Valley, of course, and in Anjou. And so Evelyn was the president of the AOC for 10 years. Her mother was also the president of the AOC, and if I'm recalling correctly, was mayor at a time.
Wow.
Her aunt, there's some lore, some family lore. They make one red wine or two red wines, but one of them is Cab Sauv, which is, we know you do not find in the Loire Valley.
Yep.
And there's a little bit of family lore surrounding that. They farmed just 1 hectare of Cab Sauv, and the reason is because when the aunt, so 2 generations ago, her doctor told her she needed to cut back on the white wine, so she planted a red.
Really?
So
Love that, don't you?
now she
Cut back on the white wine. Let's plant some red.
so
That's
she
great.
planted,
Only in Europe will you get a
Right.
doctor like that.
So she planted 1 hectare of Cab, and they sell it, of course, with no designation on it because does not follow any rules. So Evelyn is the undisputed queen of the Loire Valley. She not only has been the president of the AOC, she's formed several different winery associations within her region. To give you kind of an idea of the kind of person she is, when she became the president of the AOC, she was like, I didn't know what I was doing. So the only thing I could think of to do was to gather all the winemakers, get them drunk, and have them tell me their expectations.
Great.
Way to play the game.
Right?
That was nice. Yeah.
There were 12 at that time. I think there's about 36 because they've folded in a little bit of a wider region, so they've added in some new areas to Savennières. But she is farming entirely organic and now certified, I believe, biodynamic. If not certified, she is fully practicing. She's a leader in terms of farming in the region and is really just an icon.
It's amazing.
This wine is widely considered to be one of the great whites of France. It's not cheap. It shouldn't be cheap.
No, of course.
It needs to be expensive. It should be what it is. She would love for them to actually be a little bit less expensive, but there are wines coming from her neighbors that are more expensive than hers, and when you make the best wine, you need to be a bit pricier.
Yeah.
So she actually had to raise the prices when she didn't really want to, just to make sure that her wines were not being diluted in the branding, if that makes sense.
Did you ever meet her?
I haven't met her. I have seen her on some panels that I've gone to. So I've had the pleasure of hearing her speak, but no, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting her. Certainly like bucket list if I'm in France to go to Savennières and visit the estate. I mean, I can only imagine.
Does she have multiple SKUs of Shannon, or is this like?
She has multiple SKUs of Shannon.
Okay.
Yep. This is, of course, the premier. This comes from a single. Yep. This is single vineyard. This would be as close to Grand Cru as a designate as we have in Savennières.
Cool.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, what are we getting on the nose?
I mean, would it be weird of me to say Anjou pear?
No,
Like,
not at all.
Of course
Exactly
not.
what it smells like.
Of course not. Yeah.
Spot on.
There's a more of a minerality to it than I was expecting. Maybe because I'm not familiar as much with.
The Loire Valley where is it?
So the Loire Valley is very sort of mid
cough
France. It starts, the Loire River dumps into the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay.
So we're going all the way from the Atlantic across the country, kind of travels northward a bit and then curves and heads south on the southern side is where we see like Sancerre as we
Yeah.
head closer to Burgundy. But Savennière is on the upper, sort of the crest of the river and the valley.
There's almost this mentholated, like,
Ooh.
yeah, it's almost menthol. Like, it smells like a cough drop, but not in a bad way. Like a Ricola specifically. Like, you know?
Can't do it without,
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't. That's
Got
true.
it.
Ricola's like so fruit forward with their flavors, and then it takes a second for that menthol to kick.
I can't get past the pears.
That's how it's. Well,
Straight
yeah.
up
To me,
smells
like,
like a pear.
kept smelling and smelling,
Yeah.
and it's pear and a little lemon zest and
Yep.
pith, and then I'm like, oh, where'd that cough drop kind of
Yeah.
mentholated flavor come from, or aroma?
It does. It does have
It's
a little
there,
bit
right?
of
Like it's
Yeah.
it's like when you
menthol
smell a
but-
South American wine and you get a little bit of that eucalyptus like coming through a touch. That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Yeah, I like eucalyptus too.
Oh god,
Mm.
dude, yeah, eucalyptus hardwood is incredible for cooking over.
Really?
Really, really good for cooking over. It makes the best charcoal too.
Isn't it a South American thing?
Yeah, it's everywhere over there. Yeah, you could like literally just walk in the woods, cut down eucalyptus tree, and use it to cook, or I don't know, maybe get the leaves for some oil.
All right, I'll taste this.
Me
I'll
too.
wait anymore. I'm sorry.
This is a wine that just makes me happy.
Shit, that's good, man.
See, but like when they make French wines make like this, it's delicious. I could pound the shit out
Yeah,
of this.
but how much is this retail for the viewers?
Retail, this is going to be at minimum 60, probably in the 60 to 65.
See, I don't think that's
if I'd
expensive.
pay- yeah, but I don't know if I'd pay 60 for it.
I would.
Actually, yeah, I guess if I was going to retail, because I'm spoiled, I pay cost.
All right.
If
wait,
I was
hold
going to retail, probably.
on. So on a list, it's if you do the real markup, it's 130 bucks.
35, 135, 140. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
I
it's
would
the
pay for
biggest.
that at a restaurant
biggest.
if I saw it and there were, and like, now I know this wine. So if I was at a restaurant and I could, and I could pick it out and there was really nothing else getting to me, like put it this way. If we went back to that place where we had that Chablis that one night, where
Yep.
we were very disappointed, but I saw this on the menu instead,
Yep.
and the Chablis was $1.40 as well, wasn't it? I would and this is night and day. And that Chablis was a Grand Cru Chablis as well, apparently.
That's delicious.
That's insane.
The texture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
texture is one
so
of the things that
long, too.
really
As it's
jumps out
getting
at me.
warmer, it's getting. There's
Yeah, it was
more
a
of nose
skosh
to
too
it.
cold. I thought it would warm up more by the time I got here,
The
but
nose is really starting to come out now.
we should come back to this at
Yeah,
the end.
I agree. I love that.
Yeah.
So now I gotta go
need
get
to
more
pick out more wine
glasses.
glasses.
Damn. Oh, it's okay. Sue Pat paused the video like 3 times already, so. Carry on without
Oh, we
me.
can go back to it after. Pour it in a
We
regular
can-
glass again.
We can pour it into glass.
Yeah,
you
pour
can
back
just
into
drink
here.
this.
Yeah. Let's drink
Oh,
this.
that's true. We do have a whole
Yeah.
bottle.
We do.
Mhm.
That's delicious.
Very good
These wines are
start.
just for us.
Yeah, this is, I don't know.
Very good
I mean,
start.
you better have some good reds or whatever else, because this is a really good start. I know, this is going to be his favorite, because he just loves white.
I do love white.
Yeah.
I listened to every episode before I got here.
Did you?
guys.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, your
Nice.
girl does her research.
What is that? I'm getting a really like.
Not like you didn't know us already to begin with, though.
Yeah, but I did learn a few things. I did learn a few things about y'all from that podcast
You know what
episode
it
so
smells like,
far.
dude?
So.
It smells like a Band-Aid. The back end of it smells like you just open up a fresh bag thing of Band-Aids. That's what I'm getting on the nose.
So, petrol.
Yeah, like you're
Okay.
saying, kind of like that menthol.
Petrol's pretty-
smell from it, like
Pretty
that.
classic when it comes to some French wines, right?
I don't get the Band-Aid, but I don't discount that you do. And also I drank all mine already.
That's great.
The girl's like, yeah, I don't really smell much, actually.
Oh, shit. I don't like
Yeah,
that.
like this faintest hint of pear now. I don't know what happened to the pear.
Yeah, I'm getting like
So do I finish mine too? I'm
yeah,
finishing mine.
yeah, like the like when you open up
Yeah.
just open up a Band-Aid package.
Yep.
That's what it smells like to me.
Yeah.
I actually taste it.
Yeah.
I don't smell it, but I taste what you're talking about.
The finish on it is pretty.
Dude, I can't believe how
insane.
long this is.
Yeah. I'm still.
And
It's
it's
getting
like-
better as it's getting warmer. It's not
It's-
that it was bad by any means. It's just really.
Yeah, these
really
wines
good
don't
now.
need to be ice cold,
Yeah.
right?
No.
They really show well
Yeah.
at warmer temperatures.
This
Well, it's funny because a lot of reds, in my opinion, can use a little bit of coolness because it's too warm.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of times at restaurants, it's like it's just pouring at 80.
Yeah, and you got heartburn after your first sip.
For real.
Yeah.
Well, then you wonder why I don't drink a lot of reds anymore. It's like the minute it like so many people don't put them in the fridge or at all. Not even to say put a little chill on it. It's just
I
It's
will
hard to
say,
drink.
I've been doing this wine thing for a decent amount of time now. A few years, like, to know some things. Definitely not as long as you've been doing it. And I haven't been alive as long as either of you guys, or probably drinking wine as long as you guys either. But I will say, my life changed when I got a wine fridge for my house, and I finally
Yeah.
Totally.
took the first red out of there, and my wife and I opened
yeah.
it. I was like, why the fuck did it take me so long to do this?
Yep, set it at
So
55.
any of you guys
Have
listening,
fun.
please put your wine in the fridge for 15 minutes. If you
Yeah.
got a wine fridge, even better. Just put your reds in there. You'll be good.
Yeah.
But that 55-60 range,
We got a little cool temp
I love
still
it. I
on
love
our
it.
ren. Are we ready to keep going?
Oh, yeah, we are.
Okay.
Alright.
Wow.
All right, what are we drinking?
Okay, so next up, this is Poe. This is Samantha Sheehan. She is in Napa, but this particular bottling is coming from a absolutely legendary vineyard site in Sonoma, on Sonoma Mountain, called Vanderkamp. Part of why I picked this is because Vanderkamp is such a
I've heard the name.
it's a
Yeah.
really special, really special site, and I wanted to tell you guys about it. Plus, Pinot Meunier is just a favorite of mine. It really flies under the radar. It's a blending grape. It's found, of course, in Champagne, which we already know I love. And you don't see a ton of it 100%. Not
No.
Oh, so it's a single varietal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I've
I've only had it blended before, so that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
My buddy
So-
just got back from Sonoma. I wonder. I'm gonna ask him if they go to the smaller niche winery. So I'm wondering if he maybe it's his third time there. So I'm wondering if he's heard of it or not.
I hope he has.
You gotta have him on for an episode. I do the freaking trip.
So Vanderkamp is at 1,500 feet of elevation on Sonoma Mountain. Sonoma Mountain is important for a lot of reasons that are way before us. So native, indigenous communities and tribes, 3 different ones, the WAPO, there's 2 more that of course the names are escaping me at the moment, but indigenous tribes, many of them lived in this area. The top of the mountain did not belong to any one tribe. It was used as a point of commerce and to have ceremonies. In fact, the Vanderkamps have a sweat lodge that precedes them, and the farm has been a running farm for 100 years. So the sweat lodge has been there for a really long time. They still have tribes and indigenous communities come up and use the sweat lodge and do ceremonies. This particular spot, so Sonoma Mountain and this part of California used to be the bed of the Pacific Ocean. And so these tribes believe that this one spot was the creation of the world.
Oh,
That
wow.
the world is created out of water, everything, all living things come from water. And so historically, it couldn't be more important, basically. And the Vanderkamps have honored that throughout the entirety that
That's
they've been
cool.
running the estate. Ulysses Vanderkamp is the current generation. His dad is the one who bought it from the family who originally planted it. He's farming 25 acres. He touches every vine every year. He is incredibly connected to the land. They live off of it entirely. So they have 60 acres. Only 25 of those are under vine. The rest of it is livestock, cereal grains, orchards, apples, citrus. They're basically fully living off the land. There's several families that live on the land. They all contribute their labor to maintaining it. They make a little bit of wine themselves, but mostly they just have these very trusted partners like Samantha Sheehan. So they also planted Pinot Noir there in the 50s. It's the oldest continually running Pinot Noir, like continually producing Pinot Noir. And then this Pinot Meunier was also planted around that time because the owners at the time were big champagne fans.
Okay.
And so they were planting champagne grapes. This is some of the ones that were held over. This is 1 acre of
Wow.
Pinot Meunier. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
We could
the
still produce quite a bit of.
Yeah.
quite a
quite a
bit,
bit.
but we're talking probably. I might be wrong about this, but I think she made just a few hundred cases of this.
So
Something about
Maybe 500 or 600.
500-600 cases. Something about it.
almost 1,000 bottles.
More than
No,
that.
more.
than that.
500
Almost
times
10,000
12.
bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's a 6-pack case.
Yeah.
12 pack cases,
Twelve
yeah.
pack case.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is a mid-priced wine. You're gonna find it on a retail shelf somewhere between $30 and $35.
Nice.
I chilled it a little. You can chill it further down if you want to. Sam has been running Poe since 2009. She also makes the mom and pop
Ah,
aperitifs, which
dude.
we know and love.
Plug for a fire vermouth.
Yep.
That stuff is delicious.
Yep,
Is it
she's-
an aperitif?
It's
or
an aperitif. She used to call it a vermouth, but it didn't contain any wormwood and a few other
right.
reasons, so she changed the name to aperitif. She's actually in Mexico right now. I saw on her Instagram, like, in some agave farm, so I have to imagine she's got something else up her sleeve.
Oh,
So
yes.
the aperitifs she initially she made just for herself, and then somebody put them in Wine Spectator as the #1 aperitif to be drinking right now. And she was like, well, shit, I guess now I do this.
It's amazing.
So now she makes this whole line of aperitifs.
We've had that at White Bull for forever.
Yes,
I
she's
love that.
incredibly talented and just a warm, genuine, lovely human. I get more excited about selling wines from people that I know and believe in.
For sure.
And so that's partly why I chose both of these, is that Evelyn is a legend. I know of her well. Sam is a friend. I know what her motivations are, and I see what care goes into her winemaking. Her whole team is spectacular, and I think this wine is really fun and interesting. Should we try
Yeah,
it?
let's go.
I've got a question.
Pumped.
It's called Poe, and there's a wing on it. Does that have any relation to Edgar Allan?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely. Also, Sam's husband is,
Oh, man.
oh shit, I can't remember his last name, Michael, but he's a really well-known wine label designer. So that's why she has all of these, and the mom and pop have these amazing branding.
It's like
and
a
that's
family
because-
business.
Yep,
I
totally.
love the label.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
clean. Well, that's like the modern Sonoma look that like a lot of these smaller, more niche. I've found a lot of those, the wines we like that come from Sonoma, they go like that minimalistic kind of route, which I like. Dyson does it. You know, all those people that. Oh, wait, no, Dyson's. Hey, he's not. So
It
yeah.
smells so good.
It does.
Also, I want to note that this is coming in a clear bottle, so
Which I
that's a
love.
message from the winemaker to us.
Drink immediately.
To put it in the fridge. Treat it closer
Yeah.
to a white wine. And the color of it, I mean, it is
Color's
this
beautiful.
like
Vibrant.
Yeah.
this transparent garnet. It's just gorgeous. Thank you, Sam, for making such a beautiful
Right.
wine.
For real.
All right, what do we get?
I mean, gosh, it's almost
Dude, so much fruit.
aromatic.
So much fruit.
Yeah, but like not in a bad way.
No, very
'Cause
good. Way. Very aromatic.
It's
Stewed
almost,
like pie. There's some
Yeah, I
some
was
like
gonna say, like,
baking.
yeah, like dark cherry pie
So-
or something like that.
We don't deal with much champagne, obviously, or Pinot Meunier at all. Is it considered to be more aromatic qualities? Is that why they blend it into the champagne, or?
I don't think it's not an aromatic grape to
Right.
my
Okay.
knowledge.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's why I love how expressive this is on the nose.
Like a white pepper smell.
Oh yeah, totally.
You skipped a step, dude.
Couldn't wait.
You guys talk about your sniffs. I'm drinking. So much more acid than I thought there was gonna be. Not so much more like not like Southern Italian acid, but like just the right amount of acid.
But so much more savory than I think you would expect from
Yeah,
that
and
nose.
like it ends up being salty too. Dude, that's crazy. I mean, it makes sense, agency,
But now we've got like the finish, very dry. It's drying my tongue out currently. So the tannins that come through at the end are really nice.
it almost tastes slightly like smoky or like
Yep.
black.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know, like
Mhm.
charred
Yep.
almost.
Yep.
Like
Yep, I get
It's
that.
weird because I'm getting those strawberry candies when we were kids that had the
strawberry wrapper?
inside and the strawberry
Yeah,
wrapper.
yep.
That's what I get from this.
Mhm.
But I want pasta.
dude, I was thinking that too. I don't know why I want pasta.
But I want like cacio e pepe.
see,
I
I
don't
was
want anything too crazy.
I was
want
thinking
simple.
carbonara or cacio e pepe
Yeah.
along those lines, but then I was also like pasta olio
Yeah.
with just a touch of pepper flake, because this doesn't have so much tannin to where you couldn't enjoy
So
some
good.
spice with it, or like this with Chinese food, like
All the
no
time, all the
Szechuan.
time. I love it.
Szechuan?
All the fucking time.
This with
All the
Szechuan
time.
food would be absolute crack.
All the fucking time.
Without a doubt.
Talking about can't wait to eat this with
Dude.
fucking Szechuan.
This with Szechuan would be. Well, a lot of people don't know Chianti and like Tuscan Reds go really well with Chinese food. Really, really well. A lot of people don't know that. So obviously, a few episodes have been around some Italian ones, but this one too, or even like chicken satay, or no, yeah, is that the one with the peanut sauce?
Yeah, satay.
Yeah, dude, this with peanut sauce would be fire.
And we use 30, 35.
30-35.
I just
Wow.
want a
Yep.
bowl of
It's
Planters
really good.
peanuts right now.
Also lamb, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
lamb dish
You
with
can go
this.
gamey with it for sure.
Right, and I'm happy because it has that nice medium savory notes.
God, it's delicious.
It's
It really
so
is
good.
Do
She's
it with porchetta or something.
very
too.
talented.
It's amazing. It's so, in my opinion, that's a very European like way of making wine.
Yes.
Like I look
Yeah.
at it as a very European way of making wine,
Yes.
which I love.
It,
I respect the
it's
fuck out of that.
got some Italian vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
I think,
Yeah.
right?
Like newer Italian
Yes.
style
Yeah.
of making wine. Yeah.
Well, because this is that cool California,
Right.
the new category
young
of
kids coming out.
Yeah, the
Like
Mathiasons,
Fuso, like the stuff that he
yes,
does. Yeah.
And Mortalito and those
Yeah.
guys, all those guys.
Absolutely.
right, yeah, the sort of
Um,
fresh take.
I'm
now I
curious
want cheese.
more about like the. You always
I
watch every
almost
single
I
episode.
almost
You-
was
you
like,
listen to every
yeah,
episode.
I
All this
actually
guy
almost
wants is
said we
cheese
should
right
get
now.
some cheese.
I want to try it.
You want to try?
Oh man, I
What
got you on a
cheese?
cup.
We
What
got-
cheese do you think would go great with this?
So I
Don't say
like
burrata.
no. So I
Don't say
like.
burrata.
I'm on this big Piave kick right now, so I would have this with Piave.
Okay,
So it's
deep
like
cut.
yeah.
Love it.
There's
I would do something like that.
there's a cheese. I wish I remember what it
Because
was.
this reminds me of Northern Italian style esque wine, so like I want Northern Italian cheese with it. I don't know if I would go Gorgonzola.
Y'all tasted the
I was
laser,
thinking
right?
Gorgonzola.
The very first
Yes.
episode
Yeah.
you did.
This reminds me of Lacer
right?
a lot.
This is not
that
far off. from-
raspberry,
Yeah.
like yeah,
Yeah.
100. It's funny you said that because I was thinking, I was like, what raspberry wine did we try
Yep.
recently? And I'm like, this is reminding me, and it's very much so. How does she stainless?
Oh, this is neutral. Oak.
Neutral? No kidding.
Really?
This is neutral oak.
Not a lot of
I would
Valentine
never
then.
guess that.
In fact, she
I would
occasionally
never guess
vintage.
that.
I don't know about this vintage, but occasionally vintage to vintage, she will use up to 10% new oak. But
No
she's
kidding.
she's going mostly neutral
I
oak.
wonder what this would be like in like concrete terracotta. Because it already tastes like it was almost made that way
Yeah.
at some point in its life, but the
I
oak threw me
heard
off.
that she's making a dolcetto this year, guys.
I can't wait to try
I
it.
do love California dolcettos. I do go with dolcetto in
I
California.
can't wait to try
They
it.
do.
do great with dolcetto.
They really do.
Yeah.
See,
in
I wouldn't
California.
shit talk any other countries that much if they kept all making wine like this.
Well, then there would be no difference in wine. That's the
Yeah, it's
beauty.
fine. I like that. No, I'm like, like Napa, they're California cabs. I just can't. That's why I don't like to drink Napa anything. But this is a different level.
There's a
Right.
cab in Napa where this winery is only using terracotta. They haven't released yet to the States. I gotta find out what the name is. I'm sorry. My friend, who I was just saying was in Napa, he was there not long ago. And he, not this trip, but his past trip, and he told me about it. And he's like, let me know when these start coming in. And I was like, oh, keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
I'll find out the name, I'll let you know. But
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I can totally see why this has those Northern Italian sort of European vibes. I mean, this vineyard site is up above the frost line. So what's happening there is that they're getting fog coming from two different directions. And as Ulysses Vanderkamp calls it, he says they do battle and then they blow out back over the ocean. And so they're getting sun where other places are not necessarily getting sun at that level. of
shit, they should make Barbera too. Why not?
Yeah. Do you know if it's an earlier pick?
So with the Meunier, they, if I'm recalling correctly, do 2 passes,
Okay.
an earlier pick, and then 10 days later. But I could be misremembering. But I mean, it's definitely made with a lot no for
I
sure.
would want to go there while they're picking.
I want to go
It's
anywhere.
all
while they're
overnight.
picking.
They do all of
Yeah,
their
it's overnight
picking
picks.
overnight on Vanderkamp.
Amazing.
No matter what the grape, they do everything overnight.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah.
just want to go pick grapes once.
know.
Just once.
Oh my gosh,
Someone
there's
take-
so many wineries that would love to have you.
Yeah, for real. real.
They call that free
Yeah,
labor.
free
They would
labor.
love to
I wanna
have
do
you.
like that. And you go over the back with it, like you're wearing.
Yeah, you wear the backpack
and all that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Back. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. That's incredible.
We got to do that. We got to do like wine and olive oil.
Yeah.
Got to do it.
I'm always down for that. All right.
Okay, so finishing up with, I'm totally pandering to my buyer here. This is one of his favorite grapes.
Yeah, I love
wines.
this grape.
The
Such an underrated grape.
Oh,
Rosé.
it's the rosé you put on at.
No. We
This
don't
is
have
not.
this right now.
This is
Okay.
not the Rosé. I know about Rosé mostly because Anthony has been opening my mind
Nice.
to it and
Never had
poured me some of the Rosé that you guys have
Alright.
right now.
Which seems like it might be completely different from this one.
It's gonna be pretty different
Okay,
from this one.
cool.
Yep.
Just
so
looking
this
at the
is-
bottle, I'm like, this looks totally different.
But this is another very well-known woman,
That label
Danila
is
Pisano.
Sexy.
She farms less than 1 hectare, and she makes 2 wines.
Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Rosese? Because you are the
I've never heard of it.
you are the Rosese.
You haven't had it?
I've never
expert.
had it. I haven't heard of it.
Okay,
Never.
so
First of all, we're
Rosese-
in Liguria. Let me just
Yeah.
paint a picture. Because first we're in Liguria, and we're really, really close to the French border. I mean, like a few miles. So I think that
We're in this water, so I mean, this is gonna be salty.
I don't know
You
what
know
this
what
one's
you're
going to be like. So, Rosese typically is grown way more like inland, like nowhere near the water. Actually, they leave all that for the Vermentinos and the Picatos and things like that. But when it comes to the Roseses, they're still on those super. Oh, yeah, hell yeah! They're still on those super steep cliffs of Liguria, and basically this is like their red grape. Nowhere else in the country of Italy at all grows it.
Were you expecting it to be this light?
No, I was expecting it to be darker. The Roseses I drank are this light,
Really?
but
That bottle.
The bottle made
I
it
was
look like it was gonna be
bright,
darker.
Like dark.
because I've had 3 different kinds of Rosese now, and one is
Director.
hey, he's like, hey, bottles
sorry.
one was super light, which is the one you tried, the Durin.
Yep.
The other one was dark and tannic, and I was like, what? And then this one now is more like in between them, because the other one that's on it, Bastone, looks like a Schiava. It's like so light, but not as nasty and watered down as Schiava. I hate Schiava. Schiava makes me scheme.
Sells
That's how I remember it. It does. It's gross.
Rosese is the same genetically as Tiborin,
Yep.
which is known in the south of France. I represent close to Beaune. They make a red out of it. It's not widely planted. So it makes sense to me that these grapes are essentially the same because those 2 regions are basically neighbors.
Right.
Yeah.
They're very close to each other.
And you have, along with the French tie-in, unless you're talking to a Sardinian, there is Grenache that's planted there too, in Liguria. So like one of the wines we have is a Rosese Grenache blend from Claudio Vio. And that one's significantly darker and broodier, but that's because you have the Grenache in there, adding the deeper color to it. But with the Rosese, it's literally their table wine. Like,
Really?
everyone makes it, and even if they don't sell it, they most likely make it, and then they keep that for themselves.
Drinking it at home.
Yeah, it's the most perfect thing to chill on hot Ligurian summer. It's still got enough body and weight to it to where you can just keep it at room temp or cellar temp and drink it in the winter. Homa salami, Genoa, and pesto. This is ideal for salami,
I was gonna
pesto
say,
things, like
it was gonna be
anything
pesto
like
heavy.
that. Typically, it's super strawberry heavy, which I love.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
fine
I get
because
not strawberry
it
on those.
reminds you.
He's such a jerk. He really is such a jerk.
Super swirling
On the
a
next
one,
light
empty
glass.
On the next one, we're gonna have a video.
I feel like I'm in the
And then
vineyard.
One on him.
This just in the little box.
Yeah,
up
yeah,
above.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Roseses are typically, like I said,
Oh my gosh.
super easy drinking, very aromatic.
The smells
And
amazing.
the tannins are smooth. I tell people it's basically like a Pinot Noir. It is literally a Pinot Noir with maybe, if we're talking old world Pinot, it's a little less acidic and much more easier to drink. But then when it gets to like Sonoma and California Pinots, it's not as fruit forward. It's a little more rustic than your like what you would know as a domestic Pinot.
I think there's a good amount of acid in here now.
Oh, totally.
This one, okay.
Well, I mean, for me, it makes sense though, right? So like, if you're
oh man, I haven't even
But you know,
smelled
it's,
this.
it's
together,
chili
goes
chestnut,
together.
so it's gonna be different from any other one, right?
Yeah.
Just by nature, they've
Yeah.
got to have it be different.
Dude, this one's totally different from any other one I've tried so
Yeah.
far.
It's
And that's off the smell.
well, that makes sense when you say pesto, right? Because in general salami, because you want acid, because that's all fat, so it should cut through it no matter what. That tastes amazing.
It's so light. It's so good.
It is really light. Good amount of acid though. I love it.
You know what it reminds
But
me of?
also the tannins
Yeah.
come in
Yeah.
right
Oh,
at the
yeah.
end.
Dude, it's
Oh,
meaty. It tastes like
It's meaty.
it tastes like there's fucking pork chunks in
Yeah.
there from the
It's
salami.
meatier. Oh,
The thing I love, I love medium body. Like medium body's where my heart is. I can drink some heavy stuff. I like light things, but sometimes when you drink light things, you kind of want more. You know.
Yeah.
So for this one, the Rosé we have by the glass, it's fantastic. I don't know if I would drink it all the time. Like if I had a case of this at home, I wouldn't be mad to crack this open every week. and
Yeah,
drink
you can
through
pound
this.
it.
Okay, ask me how many of these I had to buy because I kept drinking them for the one
Really?
to get to this.
Oh,
Really?
I kept
That's so
having
funny.
to
I love it.
replace them with new ones.
I love
Well, no,
it.
I mean this
That's
is
great.
like the same reason people love Pinot because it's food friendly and it can
Yeah.
go with anything. This is the same exact thing.
Oh yes.
Like this is one
Agreed.
of the most unknown food wines that country produces.
Is it a DOC or DOCG?
Dolce.
Can somebody?
Dolce Aqua?
Thank
Dolce
you. I'm
Aqua.
Yeah,
real
Dolce
bad
Aqua,
with
sweet
that
water.
region.
Rosese de Dolce Aqua is I think it's a DOC.
Well, Dolce
not a
Aqua
DOCG.
translates to sweet water,
Yeah,
and then so it's got to be.
it's an Appalachian. Yeah,
It's gotta be
this is
area.
where like this is the premier
Yeah.
Rosese Appalachian in Italy is Dolce Aqua. I wish I remembered off the top of my head if I were to describe a map and let you guys know where exactly it is. But Liguria is not big at all.
No,
so
it's tiny.
just Google Dolce Aqua, you'll find it. Once we get, man, how many? You guys have this in? Oh, look at that!
I do have this in, and I also have a map of Italy
I love
right
it.
here.
That's great.
But see, Rosese, that's it. They don't talk about anything else. They just say Rosese Vermentino.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
what we are specifically like this region right here. So
Okay.
we're on the line of France. This is
Oh wow.
as close to France as we can get at this point.
Yeah, it's like that and Valdosta are the two French guys.
Very cool.
Yeah. So
Never s-
another woman. She's older
Now I'm
at this
pesto.
point. She's been running the winery for at least probably 30 years. And she bought it and started this winery to basically save the native varietals that she was
Very
working
cool.
with and just do some regenerative agricultural
So
work.
what else does she do?
She makes one other, I think gosh, it's been a really long time since I've had it. It could be a rosé from Rosese if I'm
Okay.
Oh, really?
Because I know the
Very
label
cool.
is pink, which makes me think it's a rosé,
Yeah.
but it's been a long time since we've had it in stock. Her wines get released. She makes like, less than 1,000 cases of wine total.
Wow.
So her wines get released once or twice a year. We get them, they come, they go. I've already had a couple of people from other distributors call and ask me if I can get them some. This is definitely a wine geek wine,
Oh, nice.
without a doubt. But I think there's a ton of approachability. I think anybody would love this wine personally, but I mean, maybe I'm just biased.
You see it in many stores?
No, I mean, we got 5 cases.
Oh wow.
So, I've sold 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I've personal purchased
I love that.
a few.
I'm very curious because the Rosese we have by the glass is just so easy that I wonder how I would have a hard time describing this
Yeah.
to a guest, like because it's not. I mean, the body's Pinot, and I typically lead with the Pinot realm
I would say
To
Pinot
like
with
it.
a lot more grip.
it is, but then someone's gonna be like, oh, so like a Burgundy, and you're gonna be like, no,
Distinctly not like a
distinctly
yeah.
not.
way more like a Valley d'Aosta,
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
but how
got
many people have drank Valdosta? That's the problem. How many people at my restaurant sitting down have drank something from Valdosta and they're gonna be like, Valdosta makes wine? I'm like, no, different area.
Price at a wine shop?
price at a wine shop, sub 30
Wow.
for sure.
Dude,
This
that's
is
a steal.
not expensive.
Holy shit.
I would say between 25 and 30, depending
Wow.
on the margin.
That's why she killed so much on her own.
Yeah, it did not cost me very much to buy these bottles.
Wow, that's amazing.
To buy this bottle.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So what's the consensus? I'm very curious about the French wine.
Sorry, so I rate. We're going back to the rating after this fact, right?
Should we
Wait,
re-pour the
We're-
white?
Yeah, report, but we're gonna
Okay.
do
Can we allow decimals?
1 through 10. You can use decimals.
Alright,
You
cool.
cannot
No
score it a
7.
7.
Right.
7 or no. You haven't listened.
I
Oh,
have.
she had- look at
What's the reason behind that though?
Because 7 is safe. Everybody always goes with 7. So like it's like kind of like when we hire new staff. I said on a score of 1 through 10, and you can't use 7 because a 6 you're fired and 8 you're saying on.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we normally won't use decimal points. But I definitely want to use decimal points for this one because I have very high.
Thank you
I want
so
to
much.
retry that white though.
Yeah, it's warmed up a little bit,
Yeah.
so let's see.
I don't want to mess this wine up at all.
I appreciate your
Ugh.
devotion.
Now it's straight pear.
All
Like,
pear?
You can't taste anything
Oh.
else but fucking
I
pear.
had a feeling that was gonna
It's
happen.
all pear now.
It smells I get like this blanched almond kind of thing as well though.
Oh yeah. Oh, totally. This is like some real almondy pastries.
What you getting, guys?
First aid kit. Oh my goodness. Quiet on the
Please
set.
set your phone to silent. Yeah, like I'm literally
Mascarpone.
picturing fruit and nuts together. Like,
Almond.
just treat like if I lived in Italy, I'd probably have a nut tree of some sort, and I'd probably have an orchard of some sort. And this just happened to be what I picked off and ate for my snack in the afternoon.
It's like a almond and cheese pastry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'd say that I'm so
Danish.
There we go.
There you go.
That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
All right, go. 1 to 10, can't use 7, you can use decimals.
9.2. 9.2.
That high?
That high.
Really?
I'm with you.
For the price, the fact that it's French and for this price, and like,
Price at a wine shop is $60.
yeah. Well, think about like, what other whites are you gonna get at 60 that are this good? That aren't from California. Like you can go white Bordeaux and all that stuff, but like those have never done anything for me. This, I think it's because this reminds me of an Italian wine so much. The minerality, the body on it, it's aromatic, but it's not more aromatic to the point where you don't taste anything. Because some wines I taste, they're so aromatic that the palate is such a letdown. And you're like, well, I just spent $30 so I can sit here and smell this. Maybe I should let it simmer and make my house smell instead. You know? That's how I feel about some wines.
I'm with you. I like that 9.2, 9.3. This for me is
I almost
definitely one of
pushed
the like.
9.3, but
This
I was
is
like, I'll
definitely one
leave
of
it at
the great whites. And also, I will say I'm a little bit. I'm not. This is perhaps not fair, but I'm not judging just on this one bottle because I have drank
course.
so many bottles of this over the
Of
years.
course.
The ageability, the way this wine transforms over time. Also, this is 2020. It just got here.
Yeah, true.
It's a
True,
baby.
True.
It's in its infancy over the life of its.
How long can
over,
you age
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I mean,
A
I
while,
would.
right?
You could age this 20 more years
Wow.
easily. Yeah,
Alright,
I
so
think.
don't hate me.
Okay.
I'm
Wow.
at like 8.6 and then break a 9.
Okay.
No, I actually
That's
am
awesome,
really
isn't it?
pleased with that.
Yeah, I'm at 8.6.
I think that's glowing for a
it's
French
fucking
wine.
great. It's a great wine, but I'm not saying that I've had better whites, but I've had a lot more shittier whites for sure, but that is definitely up there for a white for me.
I was
Very high up there.
I was fighting with 8.9, and then I was like, you know, it's a French white. I've drinking French whites and have let me down after someone's gassed them up the whole time, telling me this and that
So
about
zoom in on this label.
where it comes from and all that, and they've let me down
This one.
to
will
where
never
this
let you
just
down.
now. Yeah, I was like, you could tell me that this was the worst wine I was gonna drink today out of all of them, and I would have been like, you're full of shit.
So
This is incredible.
8.6, 9.2, 9.2.
Yep.
Got it? Now we gotta get the ping on the top that says 8.6, 9.2, 9.2. All right, we're going to Poe next.
Yep.
People are gonna be surprised with my score on this one, I think. Very surprised with the score on this one. Going back.
I don't have anything else to do today after this.
I love it.
I don't know about y'all. You
I just
have to
gotta
go
go.
back to work.
No, I gotta go to Kimball House.
Gotta go drink at Kimball
Oh,
House.
you guys just have to drink.
No,
it well
actually, we
tonight.
gotta.
Okay.
I finally got an office, and I
Oh,
gotta
that's great.
go
Where is
and
it?
take some measurements. Indicate.
Wait, it's there officially?
Well, I sent the lease in. Yes.
But like you have the keys.
No, not yet.
So not within White Bowl.
Oh yeah,
Separate.
it's like right there. I just can't tell it because I don't want certain staff members to come visit.
You just did.
The secret office.
Yeah.
Don't give away the location of the secret office.
Oh, even
No.
this got more intense.
Oh my.
Dude, this smells more like a.
See, it got
Sam,
funkier. It got
Sam
funkier.
Sheehan.
It got more like a.
More
umami.
espresso.
It smells more umami, like almost like tomato paste.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
I
I
like
love
that.
that. Note.
Almost like, you know.
Like
you ever
open up-
open a bag of bonito flakes?
I was about to say no. Bag of like dried figs, like the ones we use to make the fig jam here.
Go.
Oh well, let me try it again. I don't want to drink it. It smells so good.
Just remember, I mean, you've had some fucking amazing wines.
Dude. I mean, I don't even get to drink as much as she does, but she could probably vouch. Like when you drink so many wines, you simply forget.
Yeah,
Totally.
I agree.
Like
I
how
agree.
to. I feel like rating these.
No, you know what
is
this tastes
harder
like?
to rate than not.
This tastes like it smells like I walked into a barbecue joint.
Yeah,
Okay.
so when you
So
guys
I
were talking
said
about,
smoky.
Yes, when you guys were talking about food, this is a barbecue wine for me.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, like this.
Put a plate
this,
of ribs in
some
front of
rib.
me.
Absolutely.
This is some ribs
Done.
would be where it's at.
Like I want fat mats right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Go
yeah.
get some.
Yeah, we're right next door.
I'm working.
Oh, working hard.
What's your rating?
It's a volunteer position though, right? You could leave it if
Yeah.
you wanted.
8. $8.4.
Wow.
I was gonna go 8.6, but I dropped it to 8.4 because now you guys are making me think. You're like, remember,
No,
you
you're
had some
good.
pretty good ones. So I'm
You're
like,
good.
I gotta.
This is an 8.9 for me.
8.9.
I really love this wine. I think that 100% Pinot Meunier is special.
I take that back. 8.6.
And I think that the energy of the land comes through for me. That might just be my like hippie woo woo spirit that wants to really buy into all of that. But I think that there is a energetic quality that exists in a lot of bottles that we have a hard time putting our finger on why we love them so much.
I agree.
There's almost always some sort of connection to the land with those bottles
Yep.
when I dig deeper.
Agree.
And for me, that's what it is about this wine. It's kind of hard for me to even put my finger on why I love it so much, which leads me to believe that it is some sort of energy that comes from the land.
Nice.
Which is not to discount Sam's contribution to how good this wine is, but I think sometimes things are just bigger than us.
Yeah, agree.
What about
Well,
you?
It also
I'm
takes
ready.
someone.
Ready?
For in defense of Sam, it takes someone special to not necessarily capitalize on that land, but to take that land
be able to
and be able to
capture.
express that land too.
Yeah,
So
to capture the energy.
All right. 9.4.
wow.
Let me tell you why.
What?
Let me tell you why. This is the best red wine, other than those Oregon ones you brought us,
Yeah.
that I've had all year.
Wow.
This, I don't know what it is about this
Fucked up.
wine.
I haven't
I'm
even brought
feeling
him.
very
She's
I
brought him all the
pleased
best
with
friends.
myself.
I haven't even brought him his best friends.
Because I want to go cook after this. Is how much I am.
That and I want to
I
smoke a
love that.
cigar
It
with
inspires
that.
you.
Dude, a
I
cigar
really
with
do.
this.
I want to meet her now. I
A
wanna
wine
meet her,
that
like,
inspires
tomorrow.
you is really one in a million,
I like the
right?
name. I like everything about
Do
this.
you know
I mean,
what-
we didn't even have to taste it. I knew it was gonna be a 9 for me.
Do you know how much? You know what's so great about this wine, and we haven't talked about it yet. We talked about what it
Oh,
would pair
zoom in.
with, what it would taste great with, all that stuff. This wine is one of those to where you could have
I gotta go do my homework.
a simple meat and cheese plate. You could have a great salad with it, whether you go like the beet and cheese route of
See,
the
it's funny you
salad.
said salad because I want a salad.
Yeah, or like an arugula with a vinaigrette, because
Yeah,
it doesn't have so much
yes.
acid to where it'll combat. So you have that. It will go with something as big as barbecue. You could have something as simple as fucking chicken and broccoli,
Yep.
like bodybuilder style with this. But you could also put this with a chocolate torte,
Yeah,
or
absolutely,
something super
100%,
chocolatey for
100%.
dessert.
That's a great idea.
100%.
Or
Yeah.
like just like simple Ghirardelli squares that are chocolate raspberry.
Yeah.
You know, like you
No,
can just
that's a
open a
great
bag of
idea.
that, chill in bed.
But this is the wine you drink while you're cooking.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you could also drink it while you're.
I
That's,
wanna go-
It's
I wanna
hard to
go-
find wines
I
where
wanna
you
go
could
visit that
literally,
again.
you could have a course for this wine. It's not like you need a new wine for every course. This is a wine where you could have a course for it.
Yep.
You could literally do 6 courses all with this wine if you really wanted to.
She would love to have you. She's very, her hospitality is top notch. If you wanted to go out and visit the estate and meet her and go to Vanderkamp, she would love to have you. I mean, she definitely is a winemaker that wants to be connected with her consumers. I think that some winemakers just want to make wine. They don't really care about who's drinking them, or they have an idea about who's drinking them, and so if they were to meet all of their consumers, that idea might get imploded.
yeah, for sure.
She does not have that quality about her to me. She makes some expensive wines. She also makes the ultraviolet line, which is like a sub $20 cab, of which some of the Cab Franc that she blends into it comes from her front yard. So this is a woman who really
Amazing.
digs deep on all of her bottlings, no matter how expensive or how inexpensive they are. And she would love to connect with you. She would love to connect with anyone who is drinking her wines.
You know how they have? You know how we wait for them to come here to
We
do
should
wine
go to
there?
them.
Why don't we
gotta
go there and then I get to cook there?
She.
How about we start something
Can we
up like
talk
that?
about that?
Let's do
Because
like
she
a
has-
trial.
Look, Amanda's like, wait, can I come and eat?
I would obviously
Chef- Chef series.
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. How many times I've
That'd
been
be fun.
saying,
'Cause we
like,
always wait for them to
we're
come here. Let's
yeah,
go
No,
there.
we could do that because she had already been talking about like
Ooh,
let's have an
let's do it.
Atlanta let's have an Atlanta trip. Like, let's have an Atlanta takeover of Poe. And I was like, let's
Yeah.
do this. So she's amazing. Y'all would love her. Like, she's
I can already
young.
tell.
Her energy is awesome, clearly.
I hope she's a hugger because I'm gonna give her a big hug.
She's a hugger.
Okay,
She's a hugger. She's great. You guys would just really, really like her. I'm so glad you loved it.
This guy's like, something not right.
I'll pack my bags now.
Does that mean that our rosé is
We gotta
gonna
go
be
back. We gotta go back to it. We gotta taste it one more time. And I gotta see
I
what
like
it's
this.
gonna
This
be,
is very
right?
fun.
It is.
Damn, I thought we were gonna go to Sonoma, but she's coming here now.
No, we go there.
Oh, I thought she
And we
said she
cook
was
there.
coming here and doing the takeover.
Pay attention.
No,
to
no,
those.
she
there,
wants
we do a
us.
takeover.
She
Oh.
wants us to go to Sonoma and do an Atlanta
We do a
takeover.
Sonoma's not gonna know what hit up.
The plane already took off.
We're all already there. Where are
I
you?
know. I love it.
I've been drinking. Alright, so I'm gonna go off the rip and say that this one's not gonna rate higher than those, which is crazy
Go
for me
ahead.
to say as far as
Go
we
ahead,
say
'cause
things.
I think you'll be surprised.
I'm just has it changed a lot? Good bit?
Yeah.
Alright. I mean let me
Listen, my goal
sniff and drink first.
was to bring wines from outside Italy that you would think were as good as Italian wines.
Yeah. I
Because
agree.
I'm with y'all, you know that I love
Yeah.
Italian wines. That's part of why we all vibe so
Mm-hmm.
well.
What
But
is it about Italian wines that make them number one for you? Because we've explained that on our podcast why they're number one. For us, it's more of an obvious connection.
yeah, you got that family thing.
Yeah, and like what we grew up drinking, and it's obviously
Irish
what
aren't
our
making wine,
Yeah.
so
yeah, and it's more like what obviously our palates are probably tailored to. But for you, what is it? Someone that doesn't come from like an Italian household.
I
background.
think that a lot of it is the Italian dustiness that exists in every bottle of natural Italian wine. I think when you drink an Italian natural wine, you know you're drinking an Italian wine right off the bat. And I think that that's part of why I'm drawn to wines that drink as though they're Italian wines, that really give you that whole like Italian terroir feeling.
Agree.
And I struggle to put my finger on what it is aside from that like dustiness. Even though a lot of the wines that I love out of Italy are quite bright, you always know that they're from Italy.
Yep.
You
Agree.
just do. There's
Agree.
something about them, and this is not a thing that's common only with Italian wine
No.
drinkers. Every retailer that I know can spot an Italian wine once they've had a sip of it.
Yep.
Right.
It's just there's just a quality about
I
them.
feel like it's like Italian people too. You can just like spot them.
Oh yeah, y'all
For a
stand
mile
out.
You know
away.
what I mean?
For a mile away.
Y'all stand out.
For a mile away. All right, go.
One of the people. Here's my problem.
Oh, this
After,
is
after
so
I
good.
kept sipping this, after we already said our points, and then my mind
You
started
wanted to
really
go higher.
going, then we're like, I could pair around this. I don't
Yeah.
have to have this as just one pairing. And it's such a fun wine. The story, because to me, that's the reason Italian wine is so stand out to me, is because I feel like I'm there drinking it. I still have yet to go to Italy and see the motherland, but I close my eyes and I know I can picture exactly where I'm at,
Yeah.
whatever region, all that stuff.
Sir, zoom in on
Same
that
thing
label.
there with that Poe
Okay.
is like, I can just close my eyes and like feel like I'm just doing freaking rain dance. You know, like I'm part of the story. I'm in a sweat house doing, you know, like all of that indigenous stuff. Like I love that. I love stories like that. So for me, they're tying because they're equally as good. But I can't change the score. Score's set.
So where do you have that guy?
That guy's gonna be. It's tying with it, but I can't really change it. So it's at an 8-6 for me on that, obviously.
Okay.
But this is gonna be right at a. Nine flat.
9 even. That's
9
a
flat.
rookie score, my guy. I gotta go a lower point out.
All right, 9-1.
9-1.
9-1. I was gonna go 9-1, but it was close to my 9-2 with that guy. So,
Okay.
so realistically, those are both 9-1 for me.
Hot take.
All right.
This is an 8-1 for me.
Okay.
Spot on. I was gonna say 8.1. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
I
8.1.
love this wine. I think this wine is spectacular. I think when next to these other two
Yeah.
wines,
Upon opening, that was an 8-1 for me.
Yeah.
It was. I was like.
it's evolved a little
I was
for
like,
you.
wow.
Yeah.
I was
expecting more.
I was
But
going 7-9, 8-1. I can't be an 8, so I picked 8-1 because it deserves to be in the 8s.
It
Can't be in the
deserves to
7s.
be in the 8s. What
Yeah.
she's doing, the amount of effort that she's putting in, what she's done, also the amount of wine that she's making, just everything about her, absolutely. At this very moment, it is.
We put her up against
We put her up against
the
some-
All-Star.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially.
here's the other reason I'm rating it so high, though, is because for a Rosé, it is so different.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's not a class. Like,
I mean, I've never had another
you haven't
one,
had
but
the other
that's
ones.
amazing, though.
You're still like having like your first few, and it's just this compared to the one that I'm familiar with. It's totally different.
Well, yours is
Totally.
a 7-1. If I'm
Yeah, it is. It's a 7. Don't say that. People gotta buy it.
Do they though, or do they need to buy this one?
That's true. That's fair.
So I know this is not my podcast,
No, you're
but
good.
I have to ask, as restaurateurs, and I believe you dine out, and where are you eating right now? Where are y'all? I mean, do you get a chance to eat out, or you?
You wanna go
do
first? You want me to
have-
go first?
Nobody wants.
And this doesn't. I'm not talking about like. This
answer,
doesn't
it's
need
gonna
to be
get
like
nasty.
fine dining, whatever. Just
No,
like,
of
are
course.
you? Is there a Buford Highway place? Where are you?
All right, I'm gonna tell you right now. Favorite restaurants: Rising Sun in Avondale Estates.
Yeah.
That's my favorite place for breakfast.
Still have yet to go there.
You go nowhere else for lunch other than Fred's Meat and Bread and Krog. And then dinner, you eat at my restaurants. I'm sorry, I just can't eat anywhere else. And just no, I think my biggest beef with a lot of restaurants is I always leave disappointed.
Why?
And
What leaves you disappointed?
Too much fat, not enough acid. Too much acid, not enough fat.
No
Nothing's
salt.
really ever balanced, and it just and I mean people can go and have that conversation about our restaurants too when I'm not in the building because everybody thinks I'm at my restaurants every day. But I don't know. I just feel like I've spent so much time. The only restaurant that I really crave to go back to every day is Del Bar. I love Del Bar.
Yeah.
I love the food there. I think the
Me
food's
too.
fantastic. I think and I also think it's because it's so different than what we cook. That's why I also enjoy it.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, you go dumplings, goose all day. I'll eat dumplings from goose all day. I haven't found a really good bao bun yet here, unless we make it a white bowl. And we don't make them. We just
I was
fucking
about to
buy
say,
the
I
baos.
haven't had it.
But like I think I mean now especially with the lychee, like we've kind of fucking rounded it out, and now we're doing seafood very well as well. I just think that there's just so many times where, and it's not off of one time. I'll go back a few times, and if you still can't hit the acid and fat the right way, or even just I'm very simple. I want you to just let me taste the fucking ingredient. That's it. That's all I care about. And when I can't taste the ingredient, there's a huge problem. That's my biggest beef.
Yeah.
But I love Rising Sun. I tell people all the time, it's my favorite spot for breakfast. Lunch, Fred's, because they just, I mean, it's
Between the burger and the
wants a sandwich,
cheesesteak,
man.
like, yeah.
And then dinner, it's like, I mean, Del Bar. I want to eat a fucking Del Bar every day.
Yeah.
I just love
That
I
place
love
is
rice and I love
bonkers.
meat.
I live on the same block as Del Bar.
That's
Yeah.
right. You live in a
Great.
big
And so I go by there all the time. That place is bonkers.
Yeah, I believe it. It's great.
Bonkers. What about you, Anthony? Do you?
He's a Buford Highway guy.
Yeah, tell us though.
I live
Tell me.
I live by Buford Highway. I'm like 10 minutes from Buford Highway.
Always looking for Buford Highway Rex.
Yeah. So one Northern China Eatery, without a doubt.
Love
Like
Chinese food.
I have to get it in when I can. Specifically, the beef and celery there is insane. And it's so simple, but it
Yeah, I
is.
feel like I want to try making that at home.
It's
It
yeah.
feels like I should be able to make that at home. But I
That,
bet
and
I
that's the
won't.
reason I don't do. I mean, that's why I choose Chinese so much. It's just not if you're not Chinese, you have to go buy so many ingredients between like the cooking wine and everything that you need. It's like I don't want to fill my pantry up to make this dish one time.
Yeah,
So
and it's going to cost you $45.
yeah, exactly. Even if I live by Beaver Highway Farmers Market, it's still not cheap. So I'd rather go to Northern China Eatery, do that. For Korean, it is I forget what it is called in actual Korean, but it's called Stone Bowl or something like that. And it's got it like in parentheses on Google. If you just Google it, it'll tell you that.
Buford Highway?
Yeah, Buford Highway.
Okay.
And then Del Bar, because I just love purge. I love food like that so much.
Yeah.
And then there's this place off Buford Highway as well called it's an Uruguayan place actually. Sabores de la Plata. So that place is basically like carnivore lovers paradise.
Oh, yeah.
Like they do the whole parrilla you can order, and it's like you can do, there's tiers of it, and the highest tier, which me and my boy go and we get it, we split it with my wife, the three of us. It's like 6 pounds of meat, and it's blood sausage morcilla. It is chorizo. It's skirt steak. It's picanha. It's got like a little bit of everything. They put a fried egg on it. You got your chimichurri on the side. They just now. I mean, I didn't see it the first time we went, or the first couple times we went, but there is a now in I guess in Uruguay they do it too, but I know it's mostly an Argentinian thing. It's called provoleta, and it's just provolone, but it's dried a certain way, not like rogota salada dried, but it's a little bit dried down provolone, and it's thick. and they put it on a grill.
Yeah.
And they just grill it and
Yeah,
sear
it's
it,
really good.
and it doesn't melt because it's hardened on the outside from being dry, and then you cut into it with like a piece of bread,
And it's
the
all
inside's
melty.
all oozy, and you just literally just do that.
Stupid.
And I just saw them post that on Instagram the other day, and it's got like, it comes in like things with little discs, so you just dip your bread in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then if I had to choose one more for tacos, of course, because it's Beaver Highway, I have a place literally 5-minute drive from me. It's called Don Pedro's. That place has the best tacos,
Really?
hands down. And they're open till like 12 or 1 on the weekend. So if I'm home early enough to where I don't have to go to El Rey, then I'll go there instead. It's fire. That's the best
I do
place.
love El Rey.
I do love El Rey, but they're not the same.
Yeah,
Not what they
yeah, I
used to
hear
be.
you.
They're very popular. I get it, but yeah. So Don Pedro is my spot. What about you?
Well, as you know, I have celiac disease, so
That's right.
my restaurants are going to be slightly different.
Yeah.
A lot of rice, huh?
So for a lot of potatoes, I'm Irish.
Oh,
Come on
potatoes.
now.
Okay, yeah, fair.
So for breakfast, hell yeah, gluten free, of course.
Yeah.
If you have not had her stuff, even if you are not gluten free, I really can't recommend it.
Hell yeah.
enough.
I've heard.
Hell
of
yeah,
it.
gluten free. Alessandra is otherworldly. She can't be human. What she's doing is seemingly impossible. I have, every time I travel, I obviously go to like the best quote unquote gluten free bakery in that city. I have yet to have anything that comes even a little bit close to what she's doing. She
Okay.
is unbelievable. Part of why the lines are so long is because it's not just gluten free people who go and stand in them.
Yeah.
So she's selling to just everybody.
Where's she located?
So she is, you know where Lloyd's is on DeKalb
Yes,
Avenue?
yes,
That's where
yes.
she is.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's how I know it. I drive my. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. So hell yeah, gluten free for lunch. Always for me, El Tesoro.
Yeah. So good.
I
Oh, was I supposed to go like lunch, breakfast, dinner?
no,
like you guys?
just
Oh,
like
okay.
yeah, just you
I
know
love
while
El
we're.
Tesoro,
I
it's
mean,
so good.
speaking of tacos,
I still
you
have yet
know,
to
just
go
like,
there,
El
actually.
oh.
Tesoro needs
I know
to put a
everyone says-
volleyball net outside and just to go fucking
Alan,
nuts.
are you listening?
Yes, I would fucking.
That's what he said. He's like, I went to El Tesoro the other day. He goes, there's so much room out there and so many tables. Put a volleyball net in the
Yeah,
sandbox.
fucking
I was like,
I
tournaments. all
mean, that
day.
restaurant used to be all inside, which is also
Yeah.
what's wild. There was like 4 tables inside
Really?
and a couple of little outside benches.
so
It
do they
wasn't
still have
until the-
outside tables or
The
inside tables?
pandemic. I actually don't think you can sit inside.
No,
anymore.
okay.
I don't know. For dinner, you know, mostly just petite group restaurants.
Right.
that I
Wow,
like.
nice
Yeah.
plug. Nice.
You have to.
Hell yeah.
You have to.
I love it.
Uh,
Oh, you can eat it. Alici.
I was gonna say though, Alici was a great experience when I came for friends and family, and my dinner companion and I. Alici is directly in between us. It's we decided that restaurant is the dead center between
Nice.
between his house and mine, and you have so many gluten-free things on your menu at
Yeah.
all of your restaurants. Also, you make gluten-free pasta that you cook in its own water. I was at a restaurant recently that makes handmade gluten-free pasta and then boils it with the rest of the pasta, which clearly
defeats the
means that yes, it defeats the purpose and means that I can't eat it. So, I always appreciate that aspect of your restaurants, that you do make pasta, you prepare it in a way that is mindful for people who have actual allergies, and I'm not shitting on people who are just
No, of
gluten-free
course.
for fun, because those are the people that mean that I get to eat. But having your restaurants be accessible to my diet just makes a huge difference for me. And Alici was just really fun. We had a great time. I
Good.
think I told you when I was there that the staff was outstanding.
Good. Awesome.
Your first hires were great.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I know you typically end on a couple of questions.
No.
I
Well,
took over
with
that
your
portion.
podcast.
Yeah, well, my podcast, but I
Yeah.
do. But it's different.
So I'm gonna
Go ahead,
end on
hit
one
it.
question. You have. Oh shit, she's celiac. It doesn't even matter.
What?
Typically, I ask people because you're Irish and you're like plugging potatoes in there. So I was like, you had once. Well, I guess were you always celiac like your whole life?
Well, I got diagnosed when I was 28. But
So
it
you
is
had the beauty of pasta.
No, but it's probably
Oh.
also
Is
been
pizza
bothering
in your
you
life?
for your whole life.
I've been sick my whole life, but
Yeah.
we didn't know what was wrong with me. till
But
I
you
was
remember
20.
how glorious the
remember.
taste of
You guys, I
gluten
owned
is.
a bakery.
Yeah.
That was not a
I forgot about
gluten-free
that.
bakery.
I know.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I know the joys of gluten. I
Yeah.
know them
All
well.
right, so hypothetically speaking, I'll ask you this as well. You had 4 starches, and you had to get rid of one for the rest of your life. You can only have 3: pasta, pizza, rice, potatoes.
I get rid of pizza.
You get rid of pizza. We're in Grana
I
right
know.
now.
If I get rid of pizza, I could have potatoes every day. I could eat rice every day and pasta every day.
So
I get rid
obviously I
of
have to
pizza.
keep potatoes because if I said that, then my hair would catch
Oh,
on
wait.
fire probably.
Did I mess up? Pasta?
Pasta, pizza,
Rice.
potato.
I lied, not pizza. Pasta, rice, bread, potatoes. Yeah. He's like, dude.
So I mean, I like rice the least.
Really?
But,
I think rice is the
but
hardest one for me.
I eat it so much
Yeah.
because it does fit into my
Right.
diet. But let's say I can eat all of those things, then like fuck rice.
Wow.
Dude, I'm done. I don't want
See, I
rice
get rid of
anymore.
potatoes.
You get rid of that? See, I feel like
Oh,
almost
very.
I know.
almost everyone
I know.
I've asked
I love
is
rice.
always like, "Oh, potatoes for sure." But me, I asked this question and I still haven't picked my top 3. Like I literally don't know. Dude, you're asking me to get rid of pasta. That's my dad's side. You're asking me to get rid of rice. It's my mother's
I
side.
mean, you're asking, I think.
And then
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. I'm asking. And then bread. How can I not have a sandwich for the rest of
Yeah.
my life? And then on top of that, potatoes. How can I not have French fries or anything the rest of my life?
Right? Nate, if you asked me to name my favorite food right now, I would say French fries.
Dude, that was always my cheat meal. Like Friday, my Five Guys, my local Five Guys knew I walked in at 8 o'clock after my workout, and I walked in there and he looks at me and goes, "Large fry." That was it. I would kill a whole bag of Five Guys. Five Guys.
Those
A lot of
fries are
fries.
gluten free because they don't fry anything
Oh,
else. in
that's a
them.
good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I
Right.
would kill that whole bag.
Do they use lard or no?
No, these peanut oil.
You know?
Peanut oil.
Love
The
peanut
only
oil.
place that I know that's like a French or corporate that uses lard is not lard. Excuse me, tallow. It's Buffalo Wild Wings. They fry everything in tallow.
I don't know that.
No vegetable oil, which is
Somebody
dope.
lives in the suburbs.
All right. All right. What are we
Peachtree
sending them
Corners.
off with? Drink more wine.
Drink more wine. Don't sleep on some niche Napa producers.
For
If
real.
you're an old world person, clearly.
For real.
Yeah, I think that my takeaway from this is get into the cool domestic wines. I think that we
There's a lot.
look at California and we make a lot of assumptions about what California is, and that it's all this like stodgy and high alcohol and over extracted. And what we actually have is a lot of that. But we also have these producers who are trying to do something so completely different
Yeah.
that when people ask me, what do you drink the most of? Aside from Italian, I drink domestic wine.
Yeah.
And I think that really surprises people because the first thing that they think of is like a 15%
Over-extracted
alcohol
cap.
Zinfandel or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And I know y'all love like Mathiasen. I've heard you talk about
Yep.
Mathiasen. You know that this kind of cool California category is spectacular when you get deep into it. So
I'm kind of with you on that.
I
Like
would
if I'm
want people
not,
to like try some cool California
if I'm not
stuff.
drinking Italian,
Or the Oregon
it's
stuff you brought
it's
us back.
it's very fun, quirky, domestic stuff.
Yeah.
Because and just like you said, the people have a preconceived notion of California. They do with Oregon nowadays. It's like, oh, they just do Pinot, and it's like, no, they don't.
Yeah.
They do, and if they do, if you find some smaller people, they're making some pretty fun Pinots that you should try as well. But it's like the same thing. Like people were like, I don't like Chianti, and they've only had Chianti out of a straw basket at a small pizza shop that's serving it for $8 a glass. It's like no kidding,
So
you didn't.
manufactured.
No kidding, you don't like Sangiovese. I wouldn't either if that was my only thing. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
chemicals at that point.
I'm big time with you on that. The domestic producers in California, especially right now,
Go
the
to your
small
local wine
quirky
shop.
ones,
Oh, yeah.
they're
talk
killing it.
about talk to them about what domestic wines they're drinking. I heard y'all talk about how we always ask for recommendations, including myself. I do that still. I go, even accounts that I call on if I want to buy something, I always turn to a sales associate and say, if you have $30 and you could buy anything you take tonight, what would it be? And then I buy that bottle
Yeah.
because it's always going to be the coolest, most interesting thing on the shelf.
Mhm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I agree.
I agree.
What's your takeaway?
From today,
Mhm.
I said drink more wine.
That's it.
Always. It's always drink more wine. I fucking live by that credo.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
This
Thank you,
is great.
Amanda. This
Later,
is
guys.
fun.